Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new show on Fireside called Drunks. It is with me and my co host, Ty. Ty and I have been friends since childhood, and we both love to run and we like to drink beer. Part of the whole, running community is like once you complete a marathon, you go to the beer garden or your 5K and you celebrate with a beer. And so we are going to be tasting different beers each show. And so today we will be starting with the Elysian Contact Haze IPA. I did a 3.4 mile run today. How was your run today, Ty?
Hey, what's up, Ray? Yeah, hi everybody out there. Like Ray said, we are running enthusiasts, and we also love to drink beer. I'm not sure which one I love better, but I would like to say it's running. My run was good, man. I started my run at 5:30, uh, and just because I wanted my wife to get her exercise in at 7, so I kind of planned it that way. I try to avoid the heat as much as I can, but most times, like David Goggins says, just stay hard. It doesn't matter what time you run as long as you get it done. So that's what I did, and it was a pretty good run. I did 8 miles, not my fastest, but the heat didn't really it wasn't really a problem today. How about yourself?
I mean, today I ran late, so I got a 3.4 miles in, and it's one of my faster paces because I purposely run out when it's like 95 degrees. That way you could just get a mental toughness. But I think what we should do is crack open our beers and we could, keep chatting as we talk about the beer. And so I have my ice cold mug here. Have you already had one today, or will this be your first one?
This will be my second one. I have, as I said, I finished my 7 and good beer after run. Uh, Necessary, so I already had one. So this will be my second beer, but this is the first time I'm trying this beer in particular. So this should be fun.
Okay, great. I think I might have had it before. You can buy those variety packs, and it might have come in one, but I'm not quite sure. So I'll be kind of giving a fresh analysis of this beer and what I think of. Since you already tried it,
Oh, I haven't tried it. Yeah, this is my first time trying this beer. So I will let you know right now. So we're doing an Elysian Contact Haze straight out of Cali, which I like. And let's do it, bro.
yeah, I'm pouring it into my cup, but actually, I thought they were from Seattle.
Are they?
Yeah, it says Elysian Park, and most people think it's LA, but I believe they're a brewing company in Seattle. And I pulled up their information, so we'll go over it a little bit. But this right here is actually a hazy IPA, and it's a light to medium, and it's a 6% alcohol. So
Okay. Well, I didn't know. Like you said, I automatically assumed it's from Legion Park right here in LA. So that's good to know. Seattle's pretty good at beer making. They're a culinary capital and a beer capital as well. So sounds sounds good.
yeah, and for any of our listeners, we are beer enthusiasts, but we are not beer experts. So we're just basically making a show about our passion. And so I'm gonna take my first sip here, and I'll let you know. Well, I've never had a beer I've never liked, so I got to give this one a thumbs up. But I think what we need to do is come up with a rating system, and that way we could rate the beer from like it's a must try on your list, or uh, you know, let's see here. Oh, let's see. John has a question. So it says, "Can you put the names of the beers in the fortune cookie?" Oh, great idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So while I do that, you could give a little bit of your opinion of it.
It's really good. To be honest, I'm not a big IPA guy at all, and it's real. There's some IPAs that I do like. I like the ones that are just highly palatable. Excuse me, and this goes down really smooth, and it's a really good beer. I definitely have it again, and we'll see a couple beers going in how it makes me feel. But yeah, it's a good tasting beer. It's really good. It's very subtle. Some IPAs tend to be really hoppy, and this one is nice. It's subtle, refreshing, and it's a really good I'm glad it's a really good first after run beer for sure. It's definitely a good one. How about yourself?
All right, I just finished putting in the fortune cookie, and
Uh,
so yes, it's actually quite refreshing. And I'm on their website, and they actually have a quite a nice selection. They have two seasonal beers, and we could actually do a whole series on their beer and move on, or kind of mix it up. But overall, the different beers I've had from them, which I've had the Space Dust, which is really good, really
oh,
strong.
okay. Right. I saw that. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if I've had that. That's good to know. It's stronger. You said.
Yeah, that one is a 8.2%, and that's an Indian Pale Ale. And then I've also had the Day Glow. That one came in that variety pack, and the Day Glow is an Indian Pale Ale, and that one's 7.4%. And actually, I mean, it's not as strong, but I really like the taste. Is the Super Fuzz, the Blood Orange Pale Ale, and that one is a 6.4%. And maybe that one might be my favorite of them all so far. And I actually have had the Snail Bones, and then there's a few more. The Dragon Stout, or the Avatar, the Immortal, and the last one is Men's Room Original Red.
I never.
Besides their two seasonals, which is Salt and Seed, and that's a Watermelon Goose, only 4%. And then they have their, I'm assuming it's for Halloween because it's the Night Owl Pumpkin Ale, 6.7.
That one doesn't sound bad. I like the pumpkin spice thing. You know, when it's
I'm a pumpkin fan myself. However, there's different beers. They got to be done right. I'm not too fan of sweet beers.
I agree.
And, if any of the audience has had this beer, or uh, John apparently hasn't tried this one, or uh, if anybody has ever tried this one and wants to come up and share their thoughts on this beer, we'd be more than happy to hear your comments. And what we should do is we should already kind of be pre-planning so we can tell our audience what will be the next beer we will actually be uh, reviewing, so they could join along with us and help us out on our beer reviews here.
That's a great idea, Ray. Did you have any? Did you research the next beer by any chance, or can, or
Well,
maybe we feedback from the audience from
yes.
that are runners or drinkers or both? You know that they a beer that they recommend that's really good after run beer. That'd be great.
Yes, well, we have a John here who's come up from the audience, and I've got to know John a little bit, and he loves beer, so I know he's a beer enthusiast. Hello, John.
Hi, Ray. Thanks so much for letting me pop up. It just so happens that you guys are tapping on to, no pun intended, one of my personal favorite breweries right now. Like, I'm a huge fan of Elysian. They do amazing stuff. Contact Haze, amazing. Uh, Ray, I think, was it you that mentioned the Super Fuzz a moment ago?
Yes,
Oh
that
man,
was
it's
me.
so good. It's just amazing. And I love that you guys are doing this because I actually just wrapped up with a Bike for Beers event tonight.
Awesome. Really? Okay. It's I know that there's a lot of us out there, so it's really refreshing to to see people doing it. That's so cool.
Absolutely. So out of curiosity, what are you two's favorite like go tos, like typical style?
Ray, you want to take that one first?
No, you go ahead. That's a great question. I should have been prepared for this, but you can go ahead
Oh,
and give me a minute to think.
mine's is easy. I'm a pretty much of a lager guy. They're easy to consume. It's pretty much like water to me. 90% water is lagers. There's no filler, and they're good before runs. When you're doing a marathon and they're good after runs, and it's the calorie content's there where I could still shed pounds. So typically, I like a good 805. I'm not a beer snob at all, but I'm a beer enthusiast, so I do like to try new stuff. But yeah, 805. But like Platinum's my house beer. It's just kind of it's just there. You get it in an 18 pack, and it's just there. It's just one of those beers that I can just drink like water. And yeah, that's for a Mexican beer. I do Dos Equis, and I like a good hef every now and then. And I do just my favorite one. I can't even pronounce it. It starts with the W. Uh, Weizensteffen, I believe. I'm probably messing up the grammar there. Weizen, it's a W, a lot of words, a lot of letters. Excuse me. And for American a wheat beer, I do like a orange wheat from Hangar 24. How about yourself?
Oh,
Well,
Ray.
okay, man, you really gave a nice selection there. If I'm gonna go with Mexican beer, I'm gonna go with geez, that's a tough one. I'll go with Corona because if I have a Mexican beer, it's usually a michelada, and um, since I don't drink as much beer anymore, just because always working out, I'll go with an IPA. So anything that's kind of high volume is fine with me. Not too hoppy, really. I'm not into the hoppiest. I will drink them. Not into sours at all, but high content volume, so I don't have to really consume that much and still enjoy a beer. If uh, in a marathon, which sounds crazy, but I've actually ran before a marathon, which is like at 5 in the morning during a marathon, and then after a marathon. So I would definitely stick with something light like a lager, Modelo. That way, I could still kind of focus. And let's see here. Yeah, pretty much an IPA. I'm not into stouts too much. I hear they're great in the wintertime, but still haven't really found a good. And John, what about?
Oh, yeah, I'm a lover of all types of beers and all different kinds. I traditionally I typically go for an IPA. I'm kind of like you, Ray. I'm a huge fan of IPAs. However, I'm a little bit picky about them because there does need to be this balance. Because especially when you're talking about IPAs in America, it's kind of like the hot sauce thing, right? Like people just go super hoppy just to say that this is a super hoppy beer, just like you go, this is a super hot sauce or something like that. But not too many are concerned about like balance and drinkability, right? Like I appreciate a good intense beer, but I also don't want to like give it the whiskey face every time I take a sip.
Right.
um, but Ray, like regarding your comments about stouts, like I'm a little picky about those too, but I have leaned more towards porters as far as dark beers go. So if I can throw a suggestion out to you, and you can probably only find this like in the winter months, there is a beer called Victory at Sea, and if you can find that, it is gonna knock your.
Is Victory the company? Because I've seen that name around.
Ballast Point is the
Or,
name of the company.
oh, it's from Ballast Point. Okay, good. Yeah, they're pretty. They have one in San Diego. They have a couple actually out here. Where are you from, John? By the way.
I am in Durham, North Carolina right now.
Okay, so you guys have Ballast Points out there. That's interesting. I thought it
Hmm.
was a California, Southern California based.
You don't get it out here too often, but as we're starting to see beer culture and imports and exports from different states are becoming a little bit more common. Ray, I'm so excited that you decided to do this because I promise you right now I'm going to be here every time you do it because I am an absolute.
I mean, you'd be surprised at how many runners are beer nuts. That's like, and me, I just like you got to earn it. Get your good workout in. And overall, I'm such a workout fanatic. People think, oh, that's all he does, but really, I believe in balance. There's some people that are just so uptight they won't even drink a beer, and then I'm not just speaking the truth. I passed them in a marathon, and I'm drinking the night before, and I'm like, sometimes it's better just to relax, have a beer instead of being building up all this stress in your body is worse than actually having that beer. So I just believe in balance, and I am a huge beer fanatic, and I don't think that you shouldn't drink a beer just because you're working out all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That's the cool thing about it is that when you're a runner, or John, do you run, or when you say bike, are you a cyclist, or like a touring bike, or a mountain bike? What do you do?
Cyclist touring mostly, starting to lean more towards mountain biking. I would be a runner, but I've been a chef for 20 years, so my knees and my lower back are just shot. So cycling is a little bit easier on my body, so I can get the cardio and get the workout without like having the impact damage done more to my knees. But this is a very similar thing to what we do. Is like we pick a local brewery that's like 4 or 5 miles away, and we cycle to it, and then we treat our reward is let's try a beer. And I got to tell you, like if you put the workout in front of the beer, it does not take near as much to make you feel happy.
Yeah, yes, that is so true. Hold on, I'm intrigued now, though, John. You're from North Carolina and you're a chef.
Mm-hmm.
I, you got to give me some barbecue tips, bro. Later on, that's I'm
Uh,
sure you know.
Uh, look, my friend, you look me up anywhere and I will talk food with you anytime, but you got to tell me what kind of barbecue you're looking for. You talking Memphis? You talking Texas? You talking Carolina? There's a lot of different barbecues, but I
Oh,
got recipes for them all.
oh, is that right? So you don't have a favorite? I want to know what you cook at home.
Oh,
But
they
later on, though.
they all have their place, but yeah, yeah.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Super. That's very interesting. I myself, I'm a runner first. I'm a father and husband first, but I'm a runner first as well. And I also, during the COVID, I took up mountain biking as a another pastime. So I'd be interested to see to talk to you more about the mountain biking thing as well. But let's talk about the beer. What do you recommend? Go ahead, Jojo. Excuse me, my son's here. Go ahead, Jonah. What do you recommend for us, since you're more of an IPA guy that's really good? Like, what's one of those beers that you guys did your 4.5 miles to, and we're like, oh man, this is great. This is awesome.
Okay,
This is
all
fresh.
right. So that's a good one. Tonight we a group of five of, or no, six of us cycled up to a local brewery here called Ponysaurus Brewery, and they don't really package. You can't buy it in stores. It's kind of a little niche place, and that's kind of what we venture for. Is let's go off the beaten path and try new things. But they make absolutely amazing and well balanced IPAs. Things with a lot of citrus nodes to it, not too hoppy, but a little bit of bitterness in there. But I often find that the bitterness comes from the citrus rind as opposed to the hops. So I think that's a little bit more of a well balanced beer. They're also known for doing some really amazing. Oh God, their Scottish ale is to die for.
Interesting.
Yeah, when I said I was a
I
beer
haven't
nut.
even heard that one.
Yeah, that's cool. Actually, if I'm not sure how the fortune cookies work, I'm new to this, guy. So sorry for my unprofessionalism, but if you could, like, tell me the name of that that again, that'd be great. So I could research it and try to find it. Is this something I can find at like Bevmo? Do you guys have Bevmos?
No, not out here. And honestly, this is a very young brewery, so you're not going to find it outside of North Carolina right now,
Okay.
unfortunately. But it is certainly worth looking into if you're over here on the East Coast.
So we have a bunch of friends that are beer snobs. Like, we're beer enthusiasts, but they're beer snobs. And what they do is they trade with people from around the states, because the same beer could have a different alcohol content. So they're like in beer clubs, and they just mail each other beer. And so they get IPAs from different states. Like, they get variety packs all the time. So maybe we'll have to contact them and see about getting some crazy hard to find IPA and bring it on the show.
If
Yeah, we should.
you
I
ever
know exactly.
decided to do that, let me know. I know the owner of Ponysaurus, and I'd be happy to set you guys up with that. I think that's
It is a very good idea, and I know exactly who you're talking about, Ray. I know one of them at least,
Oh
and
yeah, I mean, talk about
he
beer snobs
yeah,
in
Jesse
a good way.
should definitely be. Oh yeah, in a great way. He's from where from. He's a serious beer snob. And there's a couple people like him. There's a lot of people, uh, Ray and John, that we should have on the show, just to show off their beer snobbery and talk about it.
Their
And
beer
then
knowledge.
yeah, their beer knowledge is great because we need both. I want some runners on here too that can talk about the running, but yeah, because they're not going to talk about running as much as they can talk about beer. But I love this conversation. It's really interesting.
And to all
Aside
the
from
new listeners, sorry to
Mhm.
cut you off, but to anyone
All
jumping
good.
in, it's free. You could request to come up. We're just talking about we're doing a beer review today. So the beer we're reviewing is called the Contact Haze Elysian Park, or actually Elysian. There's no park. We just keep adding park because we're from Los Angeles, and there's a Elysian Park where the Dodgers play, basically. But it's Elysian and it's from Seattle, and the beer is a 6%. And we basically ran today, and then after you do your workout, you run, you walk, whatever you do, a beer always tastes better. And so we're going to be doing different beer reviews. And if you've ever had it, you're more than welcome to come here, up here, and just let us know what you think of the beer.
Exactly.
And so, have you finished your first beer yet, Ty?
I did. I'm about to crack open my second one.
Yeah, it
It
was
was really
actually really
yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. I like it. I'd get it again. I really would. And I was looking at just having a beer conversation. If John's still there, I want to talk to both of you about this. But is there a reason why the beer prices are so much? I saw various beers, for instance, from like pizza places, a Pizza Port being one of them. And you look at a 4-pack price. Again, I'm not cheap in the sense where I can't spend money on good beer, but $30 for a 4-pack, isn't it a bit much? I was looking at these prices. It's like, and I understand that they're not Budweiser and they're not on that level. But can we really try these beers, like enough beers, like all the beers that we want to try, without actually spending a car note on it? Is it me, or is it kind of ridiculous, the pricing on these beers?
I know, I totally agree, and it depends where you go. Actually, how did you buy a 6 pack of this, or what did you buy? I
I
bought
bought
a 6 pack, and it cost me about, with tax, about $16.
Yeah, this is I chose this because I wanted to be economical. I wanted to make sure I didn't want to do the $30 4-pack. So I bought a couple of tall boys of this, and I don't remember how much they cost, to be honest. I want to say it was under 15, but I'm not sure. I just knew it was. I was looking at other prices and can't understand why they would charge so much when I know it can't possibly cost that much. Because I know a lot of people that are brewing, you know, at their house, for instance, bottling it at their house, and it's not it's not that cost effective. So I'm just wondering, is there a reason it costs so much, and is it just the bragging rights? Is it just because, hey, we can? I don't get it. I'm curious to see why people would pay $36 for a 4-pack of four 12 ounces, for instance. And is it that much better? I just wanted, like, someone that knows a little bit more about craft beers than I do.
And it actually does get worse than that. The prices, we'll definitely see about bringing Jesse on here so we could have him talk about his beer knowledge. John, how do you feel about paying a lot of money for beer? What do you consider paying a lot of money for a 4 pack, a 6 pack?
I absolutely love that this particular topic came up because it is something that I wrestle with a lot myself, Ty. So I
Thank you.
understand. Yeah, no, I totally get it. But there are a couple of things to take into consideration. I'm sorry, I'm going to go all food service industry on you guys for a second.
Please, please do.
So
So
you have these big manufacturers like Budweiser, Miller, et cetera, Bush, whatever, and everything is done in large batches and nothing ever changes. It's the same recipe over and over and over again. When you start talking about craft beers, you're talking about smaller operations who have very few and much smaller batches to make. And often you have to um, completely sanitize, re-clean, sometimes even replace the equipment if you are switching over to a different flavor profile than what you were doing before. Because no matter how much you clean it, those metals are still going to retain some of these, I don't even know the right phrase from it, but it's going to retain some of the leftovers from the previous batch that you did. So you have to take that into consideration that manpower for doing craft beer, especially since it's small batches, is much greater. This means that the beer that is being made is it's being crafted by specific groups and teams of people who are doing specific flavor profiles. Um, so there's a whole lot of turnover in people coming in and the upkeep of the equipment, especially if you start delving into things that are not your standard American, pardon my French, piss beer.
Got you.
Yeah, when you start going into things that actually take more ingredients and things like that, you're talking about things that can permeate the metals. So you have to take that into consideration. There's a whole lot of elements to that, and I would love to dive into that, but I don't want to riff too much on it. But the broken down answer is I don't mind paying an extra $4 for something that's gonna be more satisfying than three Budweisers in one bottle, you know? So
For,
you may be paying low price for a 6 pack of Bud or a 6 pack of Miller or whatever, and you're going to be paying more for a 4 or 6 pack of something that's higher ABV and has more flavor. But that is what you're paying for, is the craft behind it. Now that being said, after a long hard run or bike in my case, a PBR tastes really good. So I'm not a beer snob, beer enthusiast.
now I understand that that craft beer takes more work and it's more quality ingredients. However, all these stores, especially like the big ones, like you go into a Target or a Walmart, they'll take that IPA and put it at room temperature. And my beer snob friends are like, that's no longer an IPA. And if you take it and don't refrigerate right away and have the right, it's no longer an IPA. It changes the, you know, chemical balances in the beer, and they're like, you're drinking something else. It's just no longer an IPA. So, mm, if you're gonna charge me that much for a beer, you make sure that you're taking care of it. That way, it tastes the way it should.
So that's not necessarily true. Um, the bottling and the type of glass that you use in order to bottle these beers has a lot to play in the preservability of it. Um, Room temperature, not so bad. If you go above that, though, that's where it gets tricky. And unfortunately, if you're talking about a whole bunch of transporting of these craft beers, like regardless of the bottling process, if you're crossing over into an extreme temperature zone and you're not regulating that in the delivery process, then yeah, you're absolutely screwed. But this is also why I'm a huge fan of like local beers. Let's talk about what's right down.
for sure. How do we? That's a great subject matter that I never even thought existed. How do you know that that it's transferred correctly, or do you?
Well, the good point John brought up as well is the bottle, and that could be a whole show. Is what's better, a bottle or can? Some people say that because the can doesn't let in light, it holds the taste of the beer better. But then some people will say you can taste the aluminum of the can. So that's another great debate. And then depending on the color of the bottle of the beer too, you're letting in more light versus a green bottle versus.
Bingo. Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Like the darker glass bottles are what's going to preserve more. However, Ray, you just brought up something that I had not really thought about, and I'm going to have to reach out to some of uh, my actual beer producers, and that is how cans um, make through go through the travel process and dealing with the temperature shift, because I have had canned beer that has just tasted absolutely wonderful, like it's right out of the tap. And then I've bought the same beer again, say a week and a half, 2 weeks later, pop it open, and I can taste the aluminum. So there is definitely something worth noting there. I have not looked into this, but I will, as the resident food geek, I will look into this and I will get back to you.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that actually is another kind of like aspect to beer as well. There's the keg, and why does the keg beer seem to taste better than the bottle beer and the canned beer? It just seems to be more refreshing overall. And pretty much any bar or restaurant you go will charge you more for the draft, what's on draft, um, unless it's a little like fancy and they have a very specific IP.
I keep forgetting you both are in California, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's a very different story in other places in the country.
Interesting. How so?
Beer prices are a lot lower out here. I'm sure you get lower beer prices for things that are a little bit more local. Like, out of curiosity, both of you are drinking the same thing tonight. Am I right about that?
Correct.
Yes, that's going to be the reoccurring theme for the show. We taste test the same beer.
Okay, and did you guys get 4 pack of cans or 6 pack of bottles?
Canned.
I
I
got
got
Yeah, so actually I'm on their website right now, and this beer only comes in 6 pack of cans, a 16 ounce of can, a 19.2 ounce can, half a keg, and a keg.
That is crazy because the first time I had contact haze, it was in a 6 pack of brown bottles. Huh.
wow.
Yeah, so now I'm starting to wonder if there's differences in distributorship and where they go to. But all right, so let's scale it back to something simpler. Ray, was it you that was talking about space dust earlier?
Yes, because it's the same brewer.
Right, which I
Yeah.
absolutely adore. It's such a well balanced IPA. How much do you pay for it out there?
I went
First,
to a liquor store, so liquor stores charge more money. This one was about, I don't know, $16 with tax. Now, if you were to go to Target or Walmart, they'll have it for about $9.99 a 6 pack, which is you know cheaper. With tax, maybe you'll get it like out 12, $13.
that is absolutely bananas because the cheapest I've ever seen it out here has been 12.90.
Do you have a local Walmart?
I do, but they also don't carry better beers. So
I got you. So you're like half a beer snob at least, right?
I, I
'Cause-
I am a diehard beer enthusiast and also a brewer myself, but I never consider
Oh,
myself to be a beer snob because like I said, spend all day working outside. Nothing tastes better than an ice cold PBR. So,
for sure. Out of curiosity, what's your favorite beer that you brew yourself?
okay, so that's an interesting question. I'm going to let you guys on a little bit of insight. My last name is Killian, as in Killian's Red.
Yeah, Irish.
Yeah, that's my actual family. I come from George Killian. Um, we have the original recipe of Killian's Red, and it is nothing of what you buy in the store. It is closer to Guinness, and it is very, very heavy and dark. And it got its nickname because whenever you hold the pint up to the light, you will see this slight tinge of red, almost like you're holding a pint of blood. And the original recipe from my family is actually my favorite beer to make. And I only do it once every couple of years just because I don't have the space or the time to do it. But that is my favorite brew that I do. Now, the second favorite I do is citrus IPA, which I'm still working on. So, like, give me 6 months and that might end up being my favorite.
That is very cool. I don't think I've had that beer since you mentioned it. I'm on it
No,
already. We
please
here,
don't drink it. It's awful.
well,
Killian's
here at
Red is absolutely awful. It's that they completely wrecked the recipe. Just leave it alone. Let me come out to California and I'll make it back.
That's great. Or you can ship us a batch.
no. When he comes out to California, then he can be on our show and we can try homemade original beer.
That,
Um,
yeah.
and I've never seen it. I googled it right away here at Drunk's episode. We spare no expense. Joe Rogan has Jamie. We have Google. So we're just looking at it. Do you make it stronger than they? Because it shows me that they're 5.4%.
Oh yeah, no, it comes out closer to like probably 6.5, 6.7 around there.
Just speaking my language, John. You're speaking my
Yeah.
So
language. Yeah, and it's
as a
go ahead, Ray.
brewer, how why wouldn't you just make the beer strong? Like how do you decide, or is it based on the ingredients, the volume that it comes out?
Well, it's not really a decision. It's really more of a matter of what type of flavor you're trying to add, what kind of body and things like that. And as far as the ABV outcome is concerned, it's kind of hit and miss. So you work with your recipes to create the beer that you want, and then through the course of brewing, then you can learn where to add certain things in order to make it stronger if you want. But I'm not ever one to compromise taste, so I actually don't ever really pay attention to the ABV. I'm more concerned about, is this a good beer? Like, it could be 3%, but if it tastes good, I'm good with it.
For sure. I'm curious, since you actually brew your own beer, what is your house beer? Your just your normal Monday beer, John.
You, like off brewing, because like I said, I only do like 2 batches a year or something like that. But
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I'm just doing like my standard house beer, what I keep in my fridge at all times, um, it's funny that you bring it up because Elysian Space Dust has kind of become like my standard in-house beer. It's easy to find. It's very drinkable. It's relatively high ABV, but not offensively high. And yeah, that's kind of my go-to.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to add that to my catalog. And what do you mean by offensive?
I think much like there are many brewmakers who decide to push the hops concept way past where it needs to be. The same thing can be said for ABV, for the alcohol content. You don't have to push it over the top. I do love a good strong beer, but I don't want to drink 3 and be completely freaking wasted the whole night.
Yes, that's a good point. You want to have a well balanced buzz. That's what I was wondering what you were talking about. I mean, I kind of knew, but yeah,
Yeah.
who does? Nobody wants to end the night thinking or wake up thinking, "Am I good? Is everybody good?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, those are not type of beers where you're gonna go and hang out at a barbecue and just drink all day, because it's just not gonna happen unless you're just a monster and can consume that much beer. Because that Space Dust, I've had it. It is strong. It is 8.2%. And there's another one out there that's like a 9%. It's pretty popular. I think it's a, what is that? Oh, Voodoo Ranger. Uh,
Yes, those
Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah.
actually, those that's Voodoo Ranger is a good one. And you know what? The IPA that I liked that is very palatable to me was the Bear Republic's. I believe it's Bear. Is Voodoo Ranger Bear Republic or the one I'm talking about? The one I'm talking about is the Racer, the Racer 5, I believe it's called.
Oh, I think that might be part of them. I believe so. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna have my assistant look it up right now. Our assistant, Google.
Yeah, Jamie.
You're talking you're talking about New Belgium, right?
Is it New
So
Belgium that does the Racer 5?
Voodoo,
No,
New Belgium does the Voodoo Ranger, and you got the Voodoo Ranger, which is
yes, that's right.
only
That's right.
6.5%. Then you got the Imperial, and that's the 9% you were talking about. But hey, Ray, Ty, I'll tell you right now, if you continue with this beer conversation, you don't need a Google. I will be your Jamie. I am all over this, man.
Awesome. So what? So John, what's your thoughts on the Racer 5? Because that's aside from this beer today, that's been the most palatable IPA I've had.
I have not actually had the Racer 5. I wrote that down.
Oh,
So
okay, good.
I'm gonna go track it down here in the next couple of days, and hopefully it's gonna
I
be.
believe. Please do. I believe it's Bear Republic. Excuse me for cutting you off. I believe it's Bear
All right,
Republic.
good. Okay. All right, adding to the list, my friends. Yeah, anytime you guys want to do beer research, I will be your Jamie.
That is a great great to know, John. Definitely appreciate that. Talking all this beer, I was thinking that we should kind of decide for next week so our audience knows and they could join us. What do you guys think about doing one of those? I like those blood orange ones, and there's some that are pretty strong. And I've had different types of blood oranges that are really good. So sounds like our audience is cheering those on as well.
Okay,
So
cool.
let me have one of our assistants look into this, and I'll.
Sounds
So
good.
I love that he brought the blood orange into the mix because Ty, are you familiar with Flying Dog Brewery?
Not at all, John. Not at all. Please
Okay,
elaborate.
they're a little bit different from Dogfish Head. I might be mistaken about this, but I think they're both East Coast breweries. Again, might be wrong about that. But Flying Dog Brewery has pumped out some of the best flavor profiles I have ever had in beers, and their blood orange beer to this day, like even the moment, like I'm just talking about it, my mouth is watering. I'm gonna
Wow.
have to go try to track it down tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me name one by its name. So I'll track it down myself.
I am looking it up right now. Flying Dog Blood Orange is called
Cool ass name, by the way, Flying Dog.
Bloodline. Bloodline Blood Orange Ale.
Flying Dog, Bloodline, Blood Orange Ale. Okay,
That is correct. Yeah, that is one of the best that
noted.
I've ever had, and I am a sucker for blood orange raw in general, and they really managed to like it. It really did feel like you were only drinking half a beer and the rest was blood orange.
That's so cool. So what's the so a blood orange is just sweeter than a regular orange to make it that way, to batch it that way?
It
Is that
is
your taste better yet?
sweeter. It is sharper. There's just so much more flavor to it. I think the best way somebody has put it to me is if you eat an orange here in America that we normally get from the supermarket or off of the trees in Florida or whatever, it has a specific taste. If you go anywhere else and taste oranges that are made anywhere else in the world, it's like, oh my God, I've never had an orange before.
Yeah, that's why 'cause I'm from California, so we have Sunkist, and we get. I think we have actually. I live in Ontario, California, and we Sunkist was born here, but the
Oh
best oranges
wow.
come from Florida, right? Yeah. So, but we are. I live in the home of Sunkist, so I get a lot of just the regular California oranges, and they're sweet to me. Blood oranges, I've never. I'm thinking about just regular oranges as just to consume as a fruit,
Hmm. Yeah.
and blood oranges never hit the market basket. So that I'm curious to taste a really good blood orange, and as well as a really good blood orange beer.
Okay. So where in California are you now, Ty?
Ontario, California.
Ontario, you said.
Hmm.
Okay, I got some friends. Let me reach out to them and see if they can relay to me where you can find that right spot. Is there another place that I can connect with you on?
You can pretty much do all just LA area.
Oh no,
Uh,
he means like a
Yeah, like
IG.
social media or Twitter or something like
oh
that.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'll give you all the information for sure. Right,
All right.
right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a. I've had quite a few different blood oranges, brewed around here. Um, I saw right. So there's a. It's called Hanger Beer, and they're a local beer around here. Looks like
Hank
they have a
20.
blood
Oh my
orange.
God,
Yeah.
I know
Well,
them.
that's one
Yeah.
of their beers. You know
They have
them,
great.
okay?
Yeah,
They have
no,
great.
my,
Oh,
my
you should.
brother lives in the Bay Area, so I'm actually out in California like 2, 3 times a year. So
Oh,
I've
nice.
definitely had my share of hanger. Chances are the two of you have ran right alongside him on a.
Awesome. I'm a big fan of Hangar 24. They make one of my favorites is the orange wheat. Like I said before, they make great beers, really good. Yeah. Uh, your brother's a marathoner. You said.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Die Hard. He and his fiance both are triathlon marathon runners. Like they're into all of that stuff. Um, So yeah, there's a if you're in California and there's a marathon or a 4K or something, chances are you've probably run alongside them at one point or another.
That's as we're doing the show and started, talking to you and realize you're in a different state that not everybody may have the same type of beer access. Like over here, there's a local brewery called Claremont Brewery, and they make pretty good beer. They have a grapefruit. I'm not a huge fan of grapefruit at all. Like I just won't eat the fruit by itself. But their beer, the grapefruit IPA, is delicious. I just had it yesterday. Um, but the orange ones are really good, and I found a list of the top 10 blood orange beers, and I'm like, there's so many to choose from. I can't decide.
So you're telling me that now I have another brewery to visit when I come in August. Okay, great, awesome.
I'm thinking, John, you need to go with us. You need to let us know when you come to California, and let's do this.
Well, I'm going to be there first week of August, but it's going to be pretty heavily family oriented, so I might be a little bit wrapped up. But the next time I come out, I can arrange things a little bit better. And I've actually been talking to a lot of people here on Fireside about how awesome it would be to have like little meetups. Let's do some live shows together. Firesiders meeting each other in random spots. So maybe you guys go on a run, I join you on a bike, and we enjoy a beer together afterwards.
We can do
Uh,
both. We can do
yep.
both. John. We can join you on a bike and a run. We can do both.
I like this
It's
plan.
all good.
Happy to be a part of it. Well, guys, I don't want to take over your stage, but obviously you're talking about something that's near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to stay quiet. I'll stay up here and certainly happy to be involved. But I know there's a lot of people down there who are also beer drinkers. So just throwing that out there.
I don't
So
know. I don't.
I,
I don't,
I,
I don't need to go anywhere, John. I'm loving this
Oh, I'm
conversation.
not going
To be,
anywhere. I didn't want to take over. Like, sorry, I feel like I've
so
been rambling a little bit, so I didn't want to.
no, no, not to me at all. Not to me. This is a great conversation. This is exactly what I wanted to happen for this.
I,
For this.
we actually had a lot of applause when I mentioned the blood orange beer. So from the audience. So I think we should let's see if I don't know how available it is to everybody, but let's go with the Elysian Super Fuzz Blood Orange Pale Ale
So
for the
good.
next show.
Sounds great.
And Ty's a family man. He probably works, I don't know, I'm gonna say 90 plus hours a week. So we're planning to do the show maybe twice a week, basically. So we will. I'm gonna make an IG. Haven't got that far. This is our first show here, so hope everyone's enjoying it. And
Every other.
basically, what we did was run, and all you have to do is run, work out, earn your beer, and then you're happy to come up here and tell us what you think of the beer that we're reviewing for that week. So the next show that we will be doing will be the Super Fuzz Elysian Blood Orange Pale Ale 6.4. And let me see what more I could provide you on that. It comes in a 6 pack, a keg or half a keg, and then a keg. So if you
No,
happen to get the keg or the half a keg, let me know. And Ty, we are happy to go help you. If not, the 6 pack would probably be the way to go.
I
Yeah.
will say that one's a little tough to come by, but I promise you, if you're listening and you're interested, I promise you it is somewhere, somewhere in your city. If you have more than one department store, I promise you it's somewhere there. And it might be in some sort of random gas station on the outskirts of your small American town. But I promise you, you can find it.
Awesome. I look forward to next not next Monday, but the Monday after. We're doing this every 2 weeks, right, Ray?
Yeah, every 2 weeks it'll be Monday, 8 p.m. So you have time to go to work, work out, and then come have a beer, enjoy it with us, and let us know what you think. It'll be a beer review every 2 weeks, and then we will be announcing what beer we'll be reviewing, and hopefully it's available to most people. If not, we got to come up with some secret plan where we could make sure our audience VIP members get their hands on the beer so they could review it with us.
That's a great idea. With we have FedEx Express and everything that we can make it available to us and them as well. So yeah,
Possibly.
especially with
So,
John's talking about this stuff from the East Coast. It might not be readily available where we're from, but man, I want to try a lot of these things.
Brother, I will find a way to ship it to you. If this conversation keeps going, you have an East Coast beer guy who will ship you things.
That's so awesome, John. And it's cool. I have the few beer enthusiasts that we have on our belt. We can ship you anything you want as well. I promise you that as well.
all right. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in for the audience in the fortune cookie. I'm going to update the beer name for next show. So you will see it in a couple seconds here.
All good. I think it's cool that Elysian earned their right for the next review. That's a that's a good beer when they get the second episode. So props to Elysian for making a good beer.
So we got to make sure Legion hears this and maybe would like to sponsor the show. Any beer sponsors that want to give us beer, we're all in. That's, you
Yes,
know.
beer and marathon entries would be great. All you guys.
Tell you what, I'm going to do a reach out. Actually, I know people on both sides of that coin, so I really dig what you guys are kicking up here, and uh, nobody's doing this on Fireside yet, so do this. Definitely do this. Um, I'll reach out to the people that I know, and if I can send you guys things from the East Coast, more than happy to. But I will certainly, at the very least, be spreading the word as you.
Awesome, John. Appreciate
Yes.
that.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the support and everyone in the audience listening in. Appreciate the support and hopefully you guys can join us. Let's see. Let me pull up my calendar so I can actually give you a date. And it would be the 26th would be the next Drunk's beer review. And as I mentioned, it'll be it's on the fortune cookie, the type of beer we will be reviewing. And so please go out, grab the beer, work out with us, and then let us know what you think. And we'll see what happens with this show. And it looks like people are enjoying it because they're sticking around. So we also kind of told ourselves since we're drinking on air and we don't want to go past like more than 2 beers because then you never know what could happen, especially depending on the alcohol content. So we were going to try and cap it in about an hour show. And Ty, have you finished your second beer?
I have, Ray. You know me.
So are you telling me you're on your third already?
I'm not telling anything.
Oh, that's great. Well,
I'm on
uh,
6, so you know.
Yeah, it's already over here. What time? It's 11, 12, 12 for you, John. kind of late, no?
You're resident insomniac right here, buddy. I never sleep. I'm always.
Okay, well, I recommend more sleep, but definitely not less
I'll
beer.
sleep when I'm
It's
dead. No, yeah,
I love
but
me. I agree, John.
I'm gonna bounce off of here and let you guys wrap up, or give anybody else in the opportunity to pop up here and talk about their favorite beers. But Ty, Ray, thank you so much for doing the show. Thank you so much for letting me hop on stage and chat with you. I definitely want to reach out to you both, and if I can be of any of assistance for this, like, beer nut, I got your back.
Likewise, John. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. You just bless us with your knowledge is dope. Your conversation's amazing, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, John. Getting to know I knew you told me you're a beer enthusiast, so I finally got to know more. And the fact that you brew beer makes it even more interesting because we got to learn some things. As we mentioned, we're not beer experts; we're just beer enthusiasts.
Actually, I would say, like, keep beer quote unquote experts or beer quote unquote snobs out of the conversation. Let's let's be real about it.
We
Like,
like
I
beer.
can talk to you all day about all the fancy schmancy beers, but I'll still take a PBR after a long hot day in the kitchen.
You know,
Interesting.
that's
Yeah.
probably the
Uh,
only beer I don't like.
that's crazy. My wife doesn't drink beer at all. It's funny, but the two beers that she does like to drink is one a Stella and two a PBR, and she'll ask for the PBR first. And she's not even a beer drinker, but it's just refreshing her. So it's cool. There's something in that, It's just kind of like good old American. And as a Dodger fan, PBR was the first Dodger beer before Budweiser. That was the Dodger beer. And
Uh,
John, just so you know, we are Dodger heads.
God,
all
this
all day.
conversation is amazing. I love you guys. This has been so amazing. All right, I'm gonna bounce off stage. I'll be hanging out in the green room afterwards if you guys are bored, want to chit chat or anything. But thank you so much for having me. This is a great concept, a great idea. Please keep it going. Love you guys. This has been great. Thank you.
Hey, awesome. Likewise.
Yes, thank you, John, for bringing your enlightenment of the beer knowledge. Definitely appreciate it, and thank you everyone who's joined us so far. Ty, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
I just want to say, man, I was hoping this first, this is, again, excuse my unprofessionalism. I was hoping it would go this good, and it really did. And it's awesome. The insight that I received and the knowledge that we obtained is amazing. And wow, this is a format we can do this, bro. Like, this is great. Like, let's talk about more beer. We didn't talk about running as much, but we can and we will, because that's what we do. We run and we drink beer, and this is a great format for a lot of people, I believe.
Yes, I got a bunch of friends that we're working on them. They're not the cool kids. They're still on Android, so they don't have access yet. But I'm bringing them on, and I got a friend. He's started running a little bit after me, and he's already caught me in marathons. And we drank a whole beer during a marathon. We toasted some stranger gave us cans each, and we just drank, and we were like just pretty amazing, cool stuff. I mean, who could really say that they've drank a beer and toasted while running a marathon? If only like 5% or less than 5% of the population in the world runs a marathon, then who can say they've ran and drank a beer at the same time? So
For
we got a lot of cool beer future guests coming up, and I think it was a great success. So thank you, Ty, for coming up. He came up with the idea of the name, so I think it's a great name, and be looking out for the IG. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you on the 26th, 8 p.m. Pacific time zone, and we will be reviewing the Elysian Super Fuzz Blood Orange Pale Ale, and it is a 6.4. So be sure to join us. Thank you.